You're listening to Accio Politics, a MuggleNet.com podcast about politics in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I am your co-host, Adri, a recovering English major.
And I am your other co-host, Julianna, your Hufflepuffin runner.
Yay! We got it! Listeners, we recorded this at least 8 times.
Minimum at this point.
Minimum. Oh boy. We're just finishing Goblet of Fire with a bang.
Boom, boom.
Let's just insert air horns here.
Yep.
How you doing, Julianna?
Oh, just lovely. Just lovely.
You just ran 20 miles.
I did. I rolled in, changed my clothes, and here I am.
She's
fresh
my
off
hero.
of the road.
You're my hero. Like, I could not do anything after running half a mile. Like, you couldn't pay me to do anything after running half a mile.
Yeah. After I finish a full marathon, the only thing I want to do is sleep. And this afternoon, what I'm going to do is sleep. So.
Yeah, well, that sounds about right. That's what you deserve.
A nice long nap. And then I just wake up and I eat lots of things, and it's lovely.
Well, today we're going to be talking about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the movie. Are you excited?
I am excited. This is not my favorite movie. Let's just preface it with that. But I actually did enjoy this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. Mm-hmm. But we can get more into that later.
So let me also preface this with the fact that this is also not my favorite movie, but I too enjoyed the subtleties of it and sometimes the heavy-handedness of it more than I remembered.
Dumbledore's very aggressive in this movie. A lot more aggressive than I remember him being.
And then also like very much chill in this movie. I don't know. He just swung both ways too much.
I feel like Dumbledore's actual affect in the book is just like very like how he's presented in like the first 2 movies, just like, Harry, how are you doing? Just like very like flatline when he's talking a lot of the time. And in this movie, he's either yelling or he's just very calm.
Like too calm, you know?
Yeah, just way too chill. Or he's really just taking it way too far. Because we get that classic scene of, did you put your name on the Goblet of Fire, Harry?
I know. That is very classic.
He said calmly.
All right, before we get into the movie, we have a question for our listeners, right?
We do. So our question is, how has Harry Potter affected your politics? So we would like you to let us know. You can either leave us a voicemail at 915-996-1699, leave us an email at info@acciopolitics.com, or hit us up at acciopolitics on all the socials. And we actually have a new social media person, Kim, who is absolutely fabulous, who will be doing some of our social media soon. So you may see some lovely new posts from us that are just wonderful.
Yeah, it's because Julianna and I are too busy doing other things. Julianna is busy working and running, and I am busy working, period.
Yeah. We have lives. Yay!
Yay? Question mark?
Yeah, sometimes.
No, well, and all kidding aside, I'm also kind of busy creating stickers, recipes, and all the good stuff for patrons. Which, by the way, thank you, patrons. You keep this podcast afloat.
Thank you.
But let's move on to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the movie. There's some movie facts that you had for us, Julianna.
Yeah, so I pulled some movie facts because I went on IMDb and I was like, I can't even remember when this movie came out. It was November 18th, 2005, and I was like, damn, I'm old because that's over 10 years ago. And
the director almost 14. What?
I know. I was just like looking at that number. I was dumbfounded, and I just felt so old. I'm really not that old. I'm only 26. I'm not old in any way, shape, or form, but I just feel like a grandma when I see that, and then I realize it's been over 10 years. I'm like, oh, wow, someone get my walker.
Well, Juliana, if anyone's the grandma of this podcast, it's me. You know this.
I don't know. I act a lot older than my actual age. I think half of that's because my job is working with elderly people. So, I mean, you kind of turn into what you work around sometimes.
I can see that,
so,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I go home. It's like dinner time and bedtime. Okay, we don't do anything else. It's terrible, but it is what it is.
But you do an important job, so.
Yeah. I have all my little adopted grandparents. That's what I call them.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, they're cute. But, okay, so back to the movie. So the director is Mike Newell, and this is the only Harry Potter film that he directed.
He was a one and done.
Yep. Don't really know too much about him. Didn't really do too much research into him. I just knew that he was the only one.
Well, I believe, did Alfonso Cuarón direct any other Harry Potter movies? I don't think he did.
No, Alfonso Cuarón just did
Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah.
And then starting with Order of the Phoenix, we have, what is his name? I know his name, David Yates. Sorry. Mm-hmm. It was escaping me for a second. So yeah, David Yates starts with Order of the Phoenix and just takes us all the way up through what is now the Fantastic Beasts movies. So J.K. Rowling found her true love.
In a director.
Yeah.
Well,
this is also.
Sorry, I was gonna interject here. This is also the first PG-13 in the series.
It's getting scandalous. Not really. It's just getting violent.
just dragons, things.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But that whole scene, I found slightly problematic. Just the fact that, not the actual movie, but just everyone's reaction to the fact that Harry literally just dives off a cliff and they're like, is he dead? And no one really cares.
I mean, only Hermione seems to care.
The crowd's reaction is one of boredom. I'm like,
oh yeah, like, are we done now?
Is it over? What happened? And Harry's literally falling off of all the, what are they called? Trevises? The tops of the towers of the castle.
Yeah.
Sliding down rocks.
Also, can they see everything?
No, I don't think they can see everything. That was another question I had. Logistic I had for this movie was, how is anyone watching any part of this tournament? Any of the dragon thing, they could watch it, I guess.
Until
for the most part.
Until the Horntail was like, peace out, bitches. I'm escaping the stadium.
Yeah, clearly they didn't do a great job chaining that thing to the wall.
Well, I think maybe the whole point of the Triwizard Tournament is to
kill people?
Yes, but also the first task you get to watch, but the second and the third you just get to wait.
Yeah, because with the second task, they had the viewing towers over the water, but as we saw in the water, it's so freaking murky. Who is going to see anything?
I don't think Rita Skeeter was there with her camera, live footage of Harry.
Live streaming it.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Guys,
with her
just
GoPro?
Task 2. Yeah. Hashtag task 2, guys.
So how long was this movie?
So this one is an hour 57 minutes. So it's over 2 hours. I didn't realize how long that was.
It's actually not. No, it's not. It's not an hour 57. It's 157 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Yes, 157 minutes. Yeah. So it's over 2 hours. It's about 2.5 hours.
Yes.
It's a pretty long movie.
For comparison, most movies are about 98 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I completely forgot how long it was.
I know. Me too. This morning I was just like, oh, it keeps going. Wow.
Yeah, I got half an hour in and I thought to myself, oh, okay, I'm a third of the way through, and I looked down at the little timeline thing that tells you how much of the movie is left, And I said to myself, oh, no. I'm only like a fifth of the way through this little timeline. There is quite a bit of movie left. I mean, granted, it is pretty much one of the thickest books in the series, and they actually do omit a lot of things.
And we can get to that later.
Yeah, I made a nice list at the bottom of things that they omitted.
And the things they added, don't get me started.
The whole like putting the Barty Crouch Jr. at the beginning, and then we see him, and then we have no context for him.
Yeah. That we can talk about at length later on, because I have thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And I know feelings are also emotions, but we're gonna pretend like they're two different things.
And I have all three as well. So we will get to that. But just going back through the movie facts real quick, we'll just hit up the rest of them. So the tagline was "Everything is about to change," which, I mean, is valid because...
But whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty much the pivotal book/movie in the series. It is the turning point where we get Voldemort back, and we're not just playing kids games anymore. And the budget was about $150 million. In opening weekend, they made about $102 million, and then gross USA amount that they made on this movie was $290 million. So they made their money back plus some. And I don't know if you wanted to go into some of these, but I pulled some fun facts, some of which were actually from the new book that I got this week, which was the Illustrated Guide to Hogwarts, which was absolutely lovely with its artwork.
Excuse me, that is a lovely book. Lovely.
Did you get that one too, or did you
No, I just saw. I am so far behind on acquiring books related to Harry Potter that I'm such a poser fan.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that. I honestly forgot that I had ordered that. I knew I had Goblet of Fire coming because I got the other three for my birthday this year. And as soon as I got those, I thought to myself, Jim Kay's art is freaking gorgeous, because it is. And last night, I literally was flipping through the Goblet of Fire book, just staring at the artwork and being like, wow. And I knew that I wanted this book, and I'm definitely going to order all the rest of them. Are they expensive as all hell? Yes, they are.
Oh, but guess what? I just found the box set of books 1 and 3 illustrated for $64.99 on Amazon.com.
That's what I got for my birthday, because I was looking around, and that's definitely the cheapest way to get them. The only issue is now the Goblet of Fire one, it's not part of a box set yet. So if you wanted to get it, you have to just buy it separately.
It's okay.
I'm holding it right now. It's freaking heavy.
I can do that.
These books are lovely, but they're so heavy. I wanted to bring them to the beach with me and read them over the summer and just enjoy the artwork and the stories, but they're so heavy and bulky and huge, and I didn't want to ruin them with sand either. So
no, these are going to have a special shelf in my home.
Yeah, you need a nice big,
sturdy
spot to put these books. But so fun facts from the movie. So this movie features one of the largest underwater sets ever constructed. It has the capacity of 500,000 liters, which is about 132,000 gallons of water. The largest underwater set constructed was for The Abyss, which is a movie that was in 1989, which had the capacity of 26 million liters, or 7 million gallons.
Damn.
So, yeah. I didn't even know they made that, underwater. I guess it makes sense, because you have to film that stuff on somewhere.
Well, now that I think that kind of CGI technology has gotten a lot better, we will be seeing less and less of those kind of sets being constructed.
Yeah, that's true. One thing I did find interesting about the Illustrated Guide to Hogwarts book was the number of real life creatures that they had created as animatronics. in some of the movies, like they had like a Threshold and they had like an animatronic of Fluffy that they almost superimposed with the graphics just so the people had something to react to. And I mean, other random fun fact, just from being on the Speak Beastie podcast, they cast people as like the Niffler and the Demiguise and all those other creatures. They have real life people who pose as them and just are in the scenes with these people, and they superimpose graphics over them. That way the actors have something to react to.
Wow. Damn.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre to look at the pictures of these people acting as like, especially like the Niffler and stuff, because the guy who like plays the Niffler like holds out his hands and like the Niffler is his hands, but he's there.
Is he like in a green like suit type thing, or is just like?
Yeah, they have him in like a weird suit.
Yeah, like those like animatronic type suits.
Yeah, but it gives the actor something to react to. But I was thinking to myself, they cast someone as the Niffler? That's so bizarre.
I mean, they could have just put one of my dogs as like.
I know, honestly.
Just put Emmy in a green suit, and she'd be like perfect.
Would have been so much cuter.
Also, much more devious. She'd probably she does this thing. TMI, but she does this thing where she barks and gets really mad at people sometimes, and she rage poops. So that would have been really funny on set.
That would have been pretty funny, honestly. Oh, I love it. So here, I'll just pick one more fun fact. So the other one that I thought was interesting was that the Triwizard Cup had 3 models. They had a resin model, a metal model, and a plastic model. And they had to use the plastic one as the port key because it gets chucked around so much.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So the one that's in the actual scene at the end, not the one that's in the Great Hall, is plastic.
I want a plastic Triwizard Cup.
I think the Noble Collection makes like a little plastic cup. Not a plastic one, I'm sorry. A Triwizard Cup. But it's probably, I would estimate, like $50 just based on everything else that they sell.
You know, you try to be a Harry Potter fan, but you also need money.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways sometimes.
I also like this one nugget that you didn't, that you because you were trying to keep it to 2 facts, but I love this nugget so much. Go ahead. New tights were used for the webbing on Harry's hand in Task 2.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting information. And I guess they tried a bunch of other different, more professional items trying to make the webbing, and then they found that those didn't work or look correct underneath the water, and that the nude tights just worked. So
sometimes it's back to the basics.
Yep, I guess that's what they learned.
All right, okay. So now that we're done with fun facts, let's talk about initial reactions of rewatching this movie as adults.
You can go first if you want.
Well, I have a real bone to pick with the depiction of Hermione as this ugly duckling type character, when clearly Emma Watson is hot no matter what. And I say this not in a pervy way, but she's beautiful.
Oh yeah, and this is the first movie too. Well, one of the first movies where they actually start doing her hair
better. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't just let it frizz out and
which
don't
is
just
canonically correct. The frizz is canonically correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but you're right.
What about you?
Actually, along that same line, my initial reaction is the hair. Why all the long hair?
Right. That didn't make sense to me.
I guess it's reflective of the time of 2005, because I remember when I was in middle school, all the guys had long hair. It was cool. It was the way to look.
But this isn't set in 2005. This is set in 1994.
Yeah, I think that, this movie specifically, I think is more reflective of some of the trends of 2005, like fashion and choice wise, than of
Oh, of course. Because, like, 1994 Hermione wasn't going to be wearing, like, or 1993, even, like, for Alfonso Cuarón's version, wasn't going to be wearing, like, the hoodie and stuff. She was going to be wearing, like 90s fashion.
Yeah. It's definitely, and I think we see this going forward in all the movies that don't have them wearing the strict uniforms, which is every other movie except for 1 and 2, pretty much, are more reflective of the actual time that they were released as opposed to the canonical date that they should have been placed in.
Also, I loved all the awkwardness of, like, Ron and Harry trying to figure out dating.
Oh my god, this movie for me was like puberty! Like, that's literally what it was screaming to me. Everyone just looks like they're going through puberty because they probably are. And all the awkward dating situations, all the petty drama between people. Oh, I was like, this is middle school in a nutshell right here.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if I really enjoyed, like, the scene where the Death Eaters all are celebrating, because I thought, like, the book was less, and we'll get to this later, I'm sure, but in the book it was less violent than it's depicted on screen, and maybe it was done for dramatic effect.
The one at the beginning of the movie?
Yes, sorry, the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that scene or that whole sequence of scenes at all. Just because we got that weird Barty Crouch Jr. thing. We completely lose Winky's story, which we'll get to later.
We completely omit Dobby.
Yeah, I don't think we get any house elves at any point throughout the movie. I don't remember seeing any of them.
Spew was a big part of this, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they completely don't they completely omit Spew from all the movies?
Yes.
Much?
Yes.
Yeah. I was just trying to think. I was like, I don't think it's in the next one or the other one or the other one after that either.
I have a Spew t-shirt that I got at Hot Topic. And it's not like, it doesn't have any like actor or anything on it. It just says Spew and it's like really like whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is because it was omitted from the movies, or otherwise they'd find a way to like post Hermione's face on it, like, you know, Emma Watson's face on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are our thoughts on casting for one Mr. Cedric Diggory?
So I don't like Robert Pattinson as an actor. Let's just put that out there. He's not my favorite. I really disliked him in Twilight. I mean, that's not an Emmy-nominated film, but regardless, I did not like him in Twilight. Hot takes with Julianna. And I thought he did it.
I need to stop you right there. Did you even like Twilight?
I liked the books.
Okay.
I didn't like the movies. Me and my friends would go see the movies and then we'd come back and it was pretty much a joke, essentially.
All right. We'll have to chat about why you like the books later on, because we might have conflicting opinions on this.
I have a strong feeling I wouldn't like them if I read them now, honestly. That was me that was me as a 12-year-old reading them. So I have a really strong feeling, just knowing exactly what the themes were in those books, that I wouldn't be a fan of them now. But
Julianna,
as a 12-year-old,
this is our new podcast, Adults Reading Twilight.
Honestly, that would be hilarious.
Yes.
We should do that. In all seriousness, we'll put that on the back burner.
Yes, or we could do like special episodes of Accupolitics.
Listeners, let us know if you want to hear us read chapters of Twilight and then react to them.
This sounds like an amazing miniseries.
I think it would be fabulous. But
all right, okay, so Robert Pattinson, continue.
So I thought he did okay in this movie. Again, I don't really like him as an actor, so that's just I thought he did decently with Cedric.
I think he did too. Actually, when it first came out, I did not like his casting of Cedric Diggory because I thought he wasn't handsome enough.
That's my issue with him in Twilight movies. I'm like, why is this guy? Okay, going off on a slight tangent here. In the Twilight books, Edward Cullen is supposed to be like the hottest guy you've ever met in your whole entire freaking life. And they pick Robert Pattinson. And my initial reaction was, ew. Why? And I think that goes for this movie too. And it's interesting too with if anyone has the Goblet of Fire Illustrated edition, and I can send you a picture too. But the way they depict that Jim Kay draws Cedric is very like handsome and like kind of sexy and definitely. I honestly find this illustrated edition picture more attractive than Robert Pattinson, but that is just me.
Speaking of that illustrated version, you sent me a picture of Victor Crumb, and I was like, excuse me, I am very attracted to this because he's just like very goth, very emo, very like brooding. And you were like, he looks like Credence, and I'm like, well,
he does.
As Ezra Miller is a snack too.
Yeah, I mean he is. Like, let's be real here.
I guess I'm just really into like the brooding type.
No, that picture just made me laugh so much because it was literally the first picture that I randomly opened up to, and all I thought in my head was Crumb, 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 Crumb with Fred and George.
Speaking of Crumb, what do we think of his casting?
I felt like it was okay. I really didn't have too strong feelings either way with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really actually have too many lines.
Yeah, it wasn't, to me, it was like, okay, yeah, I will take this. Much better than Cedric's casting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Fleur...
I was going to say Fleur. The actress who plays Fleur looks like Claire Danes.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
Oh, no! I'll text you a picture right now.
Okay. I'm so bad with... I probably know who she is by face, but I'm so terrible
Claire
with
Danes,
names.
Romeo plus Juliet?
Oh, okay. Yeah, she does. Okay, yeah.
Okay, and we're back.
Okay, sorry. Juliana's bad with names. She knows faces, but not names.
No, I was just thinking like, oh no, this is where we figure out that our age difference is too much.
Oh no, I've seen Romeo and Juliet a bunch of times, don't worry. Don't you worry about that. We actually watched it in school a bunch of times.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. But, yeah, so one of the people that I really like, I loved who they cast as Mad Eye, which his name is Brendan Gleeson.
Yes.
So I thought that casting was really good. I feel like he was able to convey all the like emotions and affects and tendencies that Mad Eye has pretty well.
Oh, what do we think about the fact that like Durmstrang was like all male in the movie, and what's the other one? Damn, I forgot the name.
Beauxbaton.
Beauxbaton was all female in the movie.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like it kind of makes sense just to keep things consistent in the movies, just so for like people watching it. I was going to say listeners. For people watching it, but it's kind of unnecessary though, because you can have it's not needed for the continuity. So it was kind of an unnecessary.
Yeah, I just thought like
artistic choice.
Yeah, because I hadn't read the books in a long time, and then when I reread them for the podcast, reread like Goblet of Fire for the podcast, I was like, oh wow, like the movie had like infected my understanding of this.
Well, same. Because I had completely forgotten that there were guys in Beauxbaton.
Yes!
Or Beauxbatons, or however you say it.
You know
I'm
what?
sorry.
The French school. The French school.
This is Cedric in the illustrated book.
Let's see.
I'll send you the Crumb one too. the other Crumb one that's in here. This is Crumb. 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 He really looks like Credence in that picture.
Yes.
He's in his cloak. He's like, don't look at me. Don't stare at me.
Oh, you know what? I have like a cape that is just like that.
Do you really? I love it.
Oh, yeah. It's like all black and it has like fuzz on the... It looks like I am a telenovela star and I love it.
I need some kind of like big dramatic piece of clothing that I can just take out of my closet and be like, here I am, world.
Yeah, so Seth bought it for me because he was like, this is very you. Very extra. And he was right.
I feel like as a Hufflepuff and a secondary Slytherin, I don't have too many of those like extra moments. And as a runner too, I'm usually in running clothing.
Well, you're very pragmatic and we love you for it.
Yeah, but I do have those moments too where I'm like, I'm gonna wear something cool. And I have like these pairs of really brightly colored pants that have really brightly colored like floral patterns on them. And once in a while I'll take them out of my closet and be like, here I am. And I wear them with like a bright colored shirt.
I want pictures of this because this sounds right up my alley.
The ones that I wear sometimes are like these big palazzo pants. They're like bright pink and bright orange with flowers. They're so comfortable.
You know what? This is peak fashion and I love it.
We're all here for it.
We are all here for it. Okay, so within the ranking of how you view this movie, where does it fall?
This is my least... so going into this, I thought this was my least favorite movie. I think coming out of it, probably like bottom 2. I don't know which other one I would put with that one because I haven't watched the other ones in a little while. But
so I can safely say my least favorite is Chamber. Goblet of Fire is in my least 3.
I'm very partial to Chamber of Secrets because it was the first... I've watched that movie so many times because when I was little, my mom took us to Blockbuster and this one time she let us all pick a movie to buy and I picked Chamber of Secrets because that was the movie that was out. And I literally like obsessively watched that movie like over and over and over and over and over and over.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you that is the one I will most likely skip anytime I'm watching all 7 movies.
I think for nostalgia reasons, it's my favorite.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. Like, we all have our nostalgic picks.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know which one would be my favorite. Maybe we'll find out by the end of all these rereading and rewatching.
I know.
Fully put them in order again.
We'll see.
I feel my views have definitely changed since I was a kid, obviously.
Have they, though? Just kidding.
It's debatable at points in time. But I'm sure that my ranking will be slightly different at the end. So we'll see.
I always joke that I haven't made a lot of personal growth because, like, even though my taste might have changed, like, my like core being has not. Just like I've always been this idealistic, like I want to play fair and I want to play by the rules type, which is like all the Gryffindor shit, like bravery, courageous, like whatever. Just Gryffindor is just like, are you headstrong? Yes. Welcome to this house.
Yeah, I'm just a slightly introverted person with too many feelings, and that still stands as of right now.
So, but rewatching this, I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. Chamber is still worse for me, but I have no nostalgia associated with it.
Yeah, I can respect that. I mean, graphically speaking and the way it's paced, it's probably not the best movie. But like I said, nostalgia based, for me specifically, it is my favorite. But I did like this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. I went into it thinking, I was like, oh, this movie sucks. I don't like this movie. Like in retrospect of all the Harry Potter movies. Because all the Harry Potter movies are good. But like in comparison to the other ones, I was like, oh, this is the one that I think sucks the most. but I actually did enjoy it, so that's good.
And that is called growth, my friends.
Yes.
What are your favorite parts of the movie?
So I just love the music in all these movies. I think
Yes.
I can listen to the soundtrack of these movies, and if you have not heard it yet, please go listen to the soundtrack for Cursed Child. It is a gift to the world. I believe the composer is Imogen Heap for the Cursed Child one, but oh my god, the music is absolutely gorgeous. But the Harry Potter music is just wow. I love it.
You know
I'm
what?
here for
It
it.
is amazing writing music.
It's iconic, and it really enhances all the scenes very well. I felt it ramps up at the correct times, it ramps down at the correct times. It really plays into giving you the feeling and the aura of the scene in a very good way, I felt.
And honestly, like I said, I love writing to soundtrack music, especially Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, when I do homework, I have a playlist on Amazon Music that is solely music from the Harry Potter movies and Cursed Child. It's so
Yes,
relaxing and lovely.
we stand.
We stand this.
I absolutely loved, even though I I gripe about like the whole Hermione ugly duckling thing, I do love that dress that they designed for the Yule Ball.
It's such like I have mixed feelings about the dress because I don't know. I think just because it's such a dated dress, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I wear that right now. But I love the color. I think it looks really nice on her. I think the main thing I don't like is the weird fluttering sleeves. Like I like the
The
fluttery
skirt.
bottom part.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like the skirt a lot, but the fluttery sleeves just they make it seem a little bit I guess because it is I was gonna say juvenile.
Well, she is 14.
Because she is younger. Maybe I'm just thinking to myself, would I wear this?
Well, at least they didn't do like what they do sometimes with some young actresses where they put them in like too matronly of a dress or too sexy of a dress, you know?
I felt yeah. In that respect, I feel like it was age appropriate. It made her look very nice, and I love the color. The color is just so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great color for her skin tone. Um, what's another favorite part for you?
So I already said that I liked the casting of Mad Eye, and just fun fact: so Brendan Gleeson, who played Mad Eye, his son Domenhall, I believe is how you say his name, played Bill Weasley later in the film.
Oh
So it's
my
a family
goodness, I
affair.
love Bill Weasley.
Yeah. So it's all in the family.
Aww.
And I thought the casting of Rita Skeeter was like right on point. The woman who plays her name is Miranda Jane Richardson. She's from England. And she really conveyed, I felt, all of the great parts that are not really great, but you know, all of the key aspects of Rita very well onto the screen. And I thought she did a great job of portraying that character.
Well, side note, Domhnall Gleeson is also in Black Mirror, and he's amazing in
Oh,
it. In one episode of Black Mirror, and he's also in a movie called About Time, which is like a time traveling rom com with
oh,
Rachel
I feel like I've heard.
McAdams, and it's amazing.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard of that movie. Hmm. I guess he went on to do bigger, better things.
Nepotism,
Yep.
alive and well, but actually, he's very good.
Did you have any other favorite parts?
Um, let's see. I loved the dragons, obviously.
Yes.
Moaning Myrtle is problematic.
Yeah, I was watching that scene and I was like, she's clearly looking at him buck naked in the bath.
Well, but it was very clear in the book that that was happening too.
Oh yeah. I
So that
mean,
was true
just
to the book. And I found that problematic as well. And I
yeah.
know we talk a lot about how like Ron is just like sulking and he needs to get over himself.
Salty.
But I think that it really exemplified that very well.
I think I was watching, so when they first start fighting, I was thinking to myself, Ron should be saltier towards Harry because he's saltier towards Harry in the book. But as soon as we got a little bit further, like maybe like 5, 10, 15 minutes longer, I was like, ooh, yeah, the salt level just went up like 5 or 10 shakes right here. And he was just a little salty bitch to Harry the whole time. They did the whole back and forth, like with Hermione telling Harry that Seamus told Ron told someone that Hagrid wanted to see him.
I know.
And I was thinking to myself, I was like, ooh, that's petty and definitely something I would have done in middle school.
See, and again, this portrayal of Ron of someone who's like slightly less manly, like less toxic masculinity, and more like what a girl would have done in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the whole, I was like, yeah, they captured Ron very well.
Yeah, I think they did. Definitely, I fully agree.
And Hermione's like, I'm not your owl. And I was like, sass level 1000, I love it.
Ding! She reached the next level.
All right, we talked about our favorite parts. What is our least favorite part?
The hair.
Correct.
I already knew this before I even watched it. I was like, it's definitely the hair. There's nothing else I hate more in this movie than their hair.
The only people who could kind of get away with the hair was Fred and George. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But they can get away with a lot of things.
When I always love like that scene of like, oi, Angelina, do you want to go to the ball with me?
See, I feel like they didn't do that. I thought that scene was really cute in the movie, but from the book, I prefer that version where he literally yells across the Great Hall. He's like, oi! Will you go to the ball with me? She's like, yes, I'll go to the ball with you. And they're just screaming off back and forth, and like literally across the entirety of the Great Hall, so everyone can hear them, as opposed to them just doing like little finger gun motions.
But I do love the wink at the end in the movie.
I think that was cute.
It's very nice. Not my least favorite part, but I want to amend one of my favorite parts that was not in the books is Severus Snape with like, you know, the departed Alan Rickman, beautiful Alan Rickman, just like adjusting his cuffs before he like dunks their heads. Beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Alan Rickman was perfect for that casting.
Yeah. It was just great comedic visuals, you know?
Mm-hmm. So did you have any other least favorite parts?
Oh, we could go on and on. I did not like the fact that they introduced Barty Crouch in the beginning. Not canon. Yes. I understand that when you cast David Tennant, you want to use him as much as possible, but come on, guys.
I forgot that even happened in this movie, that they had made that choice to put him there. And then, so we see him, is he in that first scene with Voldemort in the book?
No, not in the book. In the freaking movie. Okay. I am so mad.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I was watching the movie, I was like, I thought it was just Wormtail that was there.
No, it's just Wormtail in the book.
We don't even get to know who Frank Bryce is. R.I.P. Frank Bryce. He's just some random ass guy, and he just gets killed, and we meet Barty there, and then we see Barty again at that stupid scene.
Which did not happen in the books. Oh my God.
They were in the forest in the books.
And also he didn't see anyone.
No, he didn't. And we lose the whole
Winky
part with Winky. Winky has no storyline. She's not existent in the entirety of the whole movie.
Also, Harry is not also in the minister's box.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is we get that scene between the Malfoys and the Weasleys and Harry where they're talking back and forth, and Mr. Weasley says something along the lines of, well, you'll be the first one to know if it rains.
Ugh.
Because they're in separate boxes, but they're supposed to be in the same box.
Yes.
With Winky and Junior. And and the Malfoys. They're all supposed to be together in one box, not separated. But we don't get, I feel like they pretty much sped through the whole entirety of the first, like, 6 chapters of the book, where they're at the, I was going to say tournament again, where they're at the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
We, like, barely see any part of it. Oh, the other issue I had, too, is that Harry, and there's a difference, too. We don't get any Dursleys. I mean, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Harry wakes up from his dream at Ron's house, not at the Dursleys, and we just completely forego the Dursleys in any capacity.
And when Ron sees Hermione there, he just like puts his sheets up like he has boobs or something. I'm like, okay,
don't look at me.
Whatever.
That's cute.
But I didn't like the fact that it was like showing Hermione as like this like mom figure who was like, don't fall asleep again.
Yeah, I just kind of making her look like a bitch.
Yeah. You know, us women, we be bitches.
What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Also, we missed the entire plot of Rita Skeeter being a beetle.
Yeah, the inspiration for the sticker is gone.
Gone, I tell ya.
But we are happy to know that Jim Kay illustrated that specific scene in the book.
There you
Rita
are.
as the beetle in the jar that I thought was slightly inhumane as a Hufflepuff.
Of course. And I was like, fair?
She asked for it. I mean, yeah, she kind of did. But still, my first question was, is there air holes in that thing?
I'm sure there are.
Clearly, I'm the Hufflepuff in this situation.
I'm just like sad we didn't see Percy. Also,
we don't see Percy at all, really.
Or one Charlie Weasley. Come on, people.
See, yeah, Charlie is better eye candy, but still.
I like candy.
That's why you like that picture of Crumb so much.
Yes, I do. Not so happy about just a lot of choices they made where they cut things and they focused more on the tasks than on like any of their subplots. We've talked about the lack of spew, the lack of house elves.
The lack of Percy, the lack of, I'm trying to think of what else.
He said calmly.
No, that's that iconic meme now.
Yes.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire, Harry? He said calmly.
Yeah, it was great. And also like the pensieve had some scenes missing.
Yeah.
Oh, also like the lack of the plot of the whole Barty Crouch Jr. died in Azkaban and then like his mom, like that whole thing.
Yeah, well, I think because we essentially lose Winky fully. Like, we never meet her in the movies. She's non-existent. And she's one of the main players in the subplot of Junior. And because we lose her, and we also lose the subplot of Percy, which we lose the great scene of where, what does Fudge call him?
Oh, Weatherby. Or Weatherby. Yeah.
Weatherby. So we lose that great, cute little scene. And we essentially lose the whole subplot, you're right, of Junior and his mom going to Azkaban, switching places, blah, 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 blah. We really don't in the movies have a backstory as to who he is, except for that he's Barty Crouch's son. And he's Death Eater. But we really don't even know how committed and close he is or was with Voldemort. We just know that he knew Voldemort, he took over, he pretended to be Moody, and he did other things for Voldemort prior to that. Mm-hmm. And that's how he went to jail. We know he was in jail at some point, but we really don't have there's really no other storyline.
So the storyline is Oh, he broke out of Azkaban and he's here.
Yeah, we saw him at that weird house, and then for some reason he was at the Quidditch World Cup, and now he's in the pensive, and he's trying to sneak away, and then he's like, "Hello, father," and I was like,
I'm telling you, it's because it's David Tennant, and like the director's probably like, I've got David Tennant, I have to use him to his fullest potential.
You know what? When I was watching that scene, I thought in my head, I predicted he was going to say, "Hello, Daddy," but he said "Father," and I was like, it would have been so much better if he said it the way I thought he had said it initially. I mean, that's still like a great scene. I was still like laughing because the way David Tennant plays Junior is just like great. It's so overly dramatic and ridiculous, and just like you can see the crazy seeping out of his eyes. He's like, "Ah!"
I do love a good David Tennant, though. Like, I loved him in Doctor Who. I loved him in Good Omens. So,
oh, yeah, I haven't seen Good Omens. I see Doctor Who though.
Oh, Good Omens is fantastic.
That's a pretty new show, isn't it? Is that on Amazon?
It's on Amazon Prime, and it was obviously a book by Neil Gaiman.
Okay. Because I think I saw an ad for that because I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
Well, girl, get on it.
I have to finish up that season, and I have to finish up the Great British Bake Off because I still have 1.5 episodes left of that. But I'm the world's worst TV watcher, so.
Yeah, I get it. So I usually have like this thought of, so a good movie adaptation is not necessarily an adaptation that abides by the canon of the book or like a beat by beat of the book. A good movie adaptation is something that captures the essence of the book or the spirit of the book. And thinking that way, is Goblet of Fire the movie a good adaptation of the novel?
I feel like it hit all of the high points pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would give it like a 70 out of 100, probably.
I love that you're grading this.
Yeah. We had this conversation earlier off mic too, but I like to grade things. I grade the cognitive intactness of the people that I work with because they're elderly with Alzheimer's. And I grade also random things or just whatever happens to cross my path.
One of my friends, her like 7-year-old, she was scrolling through Twitter and he asked her, "What are you doing? Grading everyone?" And I replied to her because she tweeted about it. And I replied to her, "Well, yes, like obviously. This is what we do every day because we are all graders because we are high achievers."
You have to know where you stand, how you can improve yourself.
Yeah.
What you did wrong.
Constructive criticism is where it's at.
So where would you put this on a graded scale from 1 to 100? What would you give this?
I would give it like adaptation? A good 65 or a 60. Mostly because I think the spirit of the book is not just on like their romantic relationships between the students and more about this subplot of like trying to overthrow the ministry and the ministry not noticing what's going on.
Now that you do say that, we do miss a lot of this being Accio politics. A lot of the political turmoil and that storyline that's underlining the entirety of the book, pretty much showing that the ministry is corrupted and we're only going to get more corruption going forward. And we missed the whole part. I forgot this until like 3 seconds ago. We missed the whole part of the end where the ministry like doesn't believe really that Voldemort is back. I think we get like a little tiny bit of it, maybe from Ron, if I'm remembering correctly. But
it's not going to be a big theme in the films until Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, until we get to that point in the books. And then we see some of the conflict that's kind of created between Harry and the Ministry, and the fact that Harry is saying Voldemort's back and the Ministry's being like, nope. Nah, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that one.
I'd say that's fair. I think I would knock myself down to like a 65 or 60, honestly, now that I'm thinking about that portion of it. Because, I mean, one of the things that I wrote in my least favorite parts, section 2, was that they spend too much time on the romance side, and it feels like they play up a lot of like the rom-com kind of portions of the movie.
Oh, yeah. And when Hermione says that Victor is more of a physical being and it's like this double entendre. And then she's like, no, wait, he just watches me study.
And Harry's just looking at her like, okay, I know someone's getting it.
It's like, I don't need to know about your personal life, Hermione. You are just a bro to me.
Seriously. Oh, gosh.
And he's just legitimately happy to see her happy. I know, unlike someone I could mention, Ron Weasley.
Ron. Oh, boy.
I think we're done. Yeah. I think we did our job for the day.
I think we hit all the high points.
Yeah, but speaking of high points, what media have you been consuming?
So I kind of mentioned it already, but I got the Goblet of Fire Illustrated Edition and also the Harry Potter Exploring Hogwarts an Illustrated Guide in the mail the other day. And Adri and I have decided that Jim Kay is a lovely artist. And if you don't already have these books, they are pretty pricey, but honestly, the artwork in them is so beautiful. It's literally the best coffee table book you could ever buy for yourself because one, you would be on brand with all your Harry Potter merch. And two, they're absolutely freaking gorgeous. Like even the covers are wonderful. So that's my soapbox for the week.
I am looking at my cart right now and it says it's $100 and something to get all 4 books. And I'm just like, maybe next paycheck?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you can buy the first 3 in that bundle where it's like 60 something.
Yes.
And then, yeah, I think, how much is the Goblet of Fire on Amazon? I can't remember because I pre-ordered it like forever and a half ago.
It's like $29, but then with tax and all that stuff.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like it was around like $35 for the book. It is a hefty book. It's about 1.5 inches thick. And I want to say it's somewhere between like 5 and 7 pounds.
Do you know when Order of the Phoenix would be coming out? Maybe next year?
I don't know when it's coming out. I do know that there is a lot of controversy around the next coming books because as you know, as the books go along, they get thicker. And this specific book really isn't much thicker than the Prisoner of Azkaban Illustrated Edition. And I will say that though I really enjoy the Goblet of Fire illustrations, there are definitely either the same number or less illustrations than there are in Prisoner of Azkaban. And there are a lot of chapters that don't have illustrations, like big illustrations in them.
Yeah, but I would understand that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some talk among other people about them splitting the next couple books into 2 books when they come out as illustrated editions. Oh boy, I'm looking at the price that's on the book sleeve right now. $47.99.
Jesus.
I'll tell you what, I did not pay that. Because there's no way in all of hell that I would have paid $50 for a book.
Yeah, no, it's $28.99 on Amazon.com.
Yeah, I know I got it from Amazon, so that's probably what I paid too. So don't pay the price that's on the book sleeve because that is bonkers.
Last Monday, our beloved dog Tess, aka Lady Sirius Black, we had to say goodbye to her, much in the way that Sirius Black was taken away from us too early in the books. And I can now talk about it without crying, which is a step forward for me. So I have been very low on my media consumption. Mostly me looking at pictures of dogs that need a home. Because even though we're still grieving, my husband and I had long ago decided that when we had to say goodbye to any of our dogs, we would start looking for another dog because we believe that, we're giving them a good home and we want to give more dogs a good home, even though we can only have 3 at a time because 3 is a lot.
I mean, I have 1 and that's still like a decent amount of dog energy in a house.
Yeah. So obviously we're grieving and it was a we were gutted. I could not think straight for like at least 2 days, at least. But at the same time, there are a lot of dogs out there that need homes, and we adopt, so we don't, we don't shop for any of our dogs. So we're just trying to see if there's any dog that could fit in our household, because Chihuahuas only get along with other Chihuahuas. Fun fact.
Oh, I didn't know that actually.
They're very much a pack animal, I guess. They only like their kind. I know there are people who have like mixed. I mean, my Chihuahuas are mixed, so they're not pure, so it's not as bad. Mm-hmm. And I know there are people who have like mixed households, but I don't want to take a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to either, especially if they have that kind of reputation.
Yes. So, other than looking at dogs available for adoption in the San Antonio area, I've been just working, crying, working, and what did I watch the other day to lift my spirits up a little bit? Let me look at my Netflix queue. I think we watched a little bit of British Bake Off, which is one of our favorites right now.
It is a warm blanket for your soul.
And obviously also we watch 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days.
Oh, see, I actually haven't watched 90 Day Fiancé, but I feel like it's something that I really should do because I would thoroughly enjoy all the drama and craziness I'm sure that happens on that show.
So before the 90 days, I don't know if I've told you this before, but listeners have heard this spiel, it's not that they have even met yet in person. This is people like meeting for the first time after they've been talking online and trying to figure out if they want to be together. So in 90 Day Fiancé, you get them they've already met, they've already gotten engaged, and now it's that 90-day wait period to where they're already in the US and they need to get married within 90 days. Mm-hmm. So there's that drama. This is dramatic, obviously. But the before the 90 days is when you see like them making that decision of shouldn't I?
Oh, I feel like that could have even more drama.
Which is why it's our favorite.
Oh boy, that sounds great.
And Seth and I, we love, and I say love, capital letters, just looking at these people and kind of scrutinizing their lives, kind of being like, why would he think or she think this is a good idea? Oh my God. Pass the popcorn.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I'm here for it. I support it.
Yeah, it's what bonds us as a couple. Also, another thing that bonds us as a couple, and excuse me, very important news. I downloaded the Wizarding World app, created a new account.
Yes.
I created a new account because I did not want to be swayed by my old account. And I was very nervous that I wouldn't be sorted into Gryffindor again because I was like, what if my entire life is a lie, right? Mm-hmm. So I answered all the questions. All the questions are different than the ones I had previously answered. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is not the original Sorting Hat quiz I took.
I think it seems pretty close. I don't think it's the exact one, but it seems pretty close to
really, because the first one I took on Pottermore was very different than this.
I heard through the grapevine at MuggleNet that this is like the original one.
Seriously? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, like that's secondhand side news. So
okay, so maybe I don't remember anything at all, and I have Alzheimer's. Okay. Anyway, continuing this, I took the thing, and turns out, unsurprisingly, still a Gryffindor. My husband...
So extra.
Yeah, so extra. My husband, up to now Ravenclaw husband, took the quiz on his phone, and turns out he is also a Gryffindor.
Oh, damn.
We are a double Gryffindor household, and he's not happy about it.
I think you're just wearing off on him.
I just legitimately cackled because it makes me so happy. Doing this podcast keeps me sane, and talking to you keeps me sane. And I am still very sad about losing Tessie, but hopeful that we could give another dog a home.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing you can really do is just accept it, cry about it, because crying makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
put all
girl.
that love and passion into helping another puppy.
Girl, I cried for like 5 hours straight when it happened on Monday and made myself almost sick. Like, I almost threw up from all the
I
crying.
do the same thing.
And I gave myself a headache. So.
I do the same thing. I used to do that when I was little too.
Mm-hmm.
And I would cry to the point of vomiting, where I would just like be like vomiting and then like dry heaving.
Yep, that's where I was.
Again, this is Hufflepuff person with too many emotions sometimes.
Well, as you know, my secondary is Hufflepuff. So I am extra and also have emotions.
Yeah. Us Hufflepuff people have a lot of feelings, and sometimes we're just far too empathetic, and that's the corner I back myself into a lot of the time. But I completely identify with the crying until you vomit thing.
Yeah, as a secondary Hufflepuff, I see you and I feel you, and I recognize you.
I feel seen.
All right, Juliana, where can we find you online?
So you can find me at Julianna_runs if you're looking to find out what's going on in my personal life. I'll probably post later today because I got the MuggleNet 20K medal for their 20-year run that they did with the Potter Running Club. But instead of doing 20K, which is about 14 miles, I did 20 miles. So, yay! But that was just because of my training plan for my race I have coming up. But you can also find me on Speak Beastie, and you will be able to find me probably not this week when this podcast comes out, but this coming week tomorrow we are recording a episode of the Common Room Correspondence for Speak BC, which you can find on a YouTube. And I almost forgot what the name of that website was, and I'm losing my brain. So there's that as well. But we just talk about all the Fantastic Beasts old predictions and kind of hash them out together with a group there. And where can we find you?
I am at Anana Banana. I currently have a very beautiful throwback picture of myself being so fashionable at age around 2. So.
Oh, I saw that. It was very fashionable.
Probably the first and last time I wore white sunglasses, y'all.
The exclusive picture.
This is the exclusive picture.
It's exclusive.
I just went through all my baby books, and like my mom had like all these like really sassy pictures of me as a baby and as a kid, and I was like, why did I ever doubt I was a Gryffindor, guys?
I feel like all the pictures of me when I was a kid are literally, the videos of me are hilarious. Sometimes I wonder why I'm not in Gryffindor from watching these videos, but they're me as close to the camera as possible, smiling as big as I can, just being like, ah! And all the videos are me being like, turn on the light! Because my mom had a little light over her camera, one of those old school ones that had the little tiny VHS thingy that you'd like click into it, and it had like a real little light. And I'd be like, turn on the light! And she'd like turn it on, and it would shut off. I'd be like, turn on the light! And then I'd just be in the middle of the frame being like, look at me! Even from the side, like my mom was taping my sisters, you could hear me being, look at me! I'm over here! Look at me!
Juliana, that's so cute.
It's just, yeah. I mean, that's probably why I went to do like musical theater in high school.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was a progression, you know.
All right, so as a reminder, we want to know how Harry Potter, the series, the movies, what have you, has affected your politics. Let us know by calling in at 915-996-1699. That is a voicemail-only phone. It'll go straight to voicemail, and you could just leave your voicemail. You could also email us at info@ociopolitics.com. That also works like if you're just going to send us an MP3, a recording of your voice, or if you just want to write it, or you can reach us at Ociopolitics on all socials.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for the show today. And the next time we come into your ear holes, we'll be discussing the first chapter of Order of the Phoenix.
Pew, pew, pew.
We might be taking a break. We
shall see.
All right. Thanks for being here, Juliana.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for you for being here. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah,
My
blah,
mouth
blah.
is blah, 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 blah.
Until then, politics managed. Support this podcast for as little as $2 a month on patreon.com/Archaeopolitics. Follow the pod on social at Archaeopolitics on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Email me at info@archaeopolitics.com with your thoughts, theories, and favorite moments of the series. You can also leave me a voicemail to be featured on the podcast at 915-996-1699. Theme music is Think Big by Scott Holmes. This podcast is brought to you by MuggleNet.com.